Young has passed away. The Florida Republican was 82. He served a remarkable 22 terms. Announced just last week he would not seek re-election next year. Florida media had reported that the most senior Republican in Congress was suffering health problems over the past few years. Congressman Bill Young dead at 82. Well, now that the shutdown showdown report that earlier we did report that Congressman Bill Young had passed away, we are now told that is not the case, and we of course sincerely apologize for that error. Hopefully that won't happen again.
To start this video, we're going to start by playing the national anthem, which was the sign-off on television stations across the nation back in the 1960s.
Our national anthem.
Okay, I'm going to put that video you just saw in perspective in just a moment. But today up at TrueStream I wrote this article, TV, Your Mind Controlled. And what it has to do with is the fact that back in the 60s, scientists, one scientist in particular that I cite who worked for General Electric, was able to do experiments on people watching television, and he found that within 30 seconds to a minute of watching television, your brain goes from a beta wave state, which is an alert, awake, thinking state which primarily uses the left side of your brain, which is where your critical thinking skills lie, to an alpha state, which is more of a relaxed, daydreaming type state, where you essentially go on autopilot and you become a passive learner to the information that's coming into your mind. Okay? What they were able to figure out is that television is a form of basic mind control. When you are in an alpha wave state, you are suggestible to whatever's going into your mind, what you're seeing, at a subliminal level that you cannot critically analyze as you are viewing it. And one of this researcher's findings actually said that through this, there may be a time when the mass media can create special programs that help people modify attitudes and behaviors. It's creepy stuff. Switching gears, have you ever seen the movie They Live? It's the 1988 John Carpenter science fiction movie where this man is able to put on sunglasses and he finds out that there's a signal on a TV broadcast that is concealing the appearance of these beings that are controlling society, and he finds out all the billboards just say consume, obey. They're just all subliminal messages. Everything is a subliminal message, and everyone is being basically controlled subliminally by the ruling class. Now we're going to go ahead and watch this national anthem again, only this time we're going to watch it slowed way down. Tell me if you notice anything different from the last time you watched it. Did you see the letters change at the bottom? Let's watch it again in even slower frame by frame motion. happens so quickly you can barely see it. But you aren't meant to physically, literally see it. You are meant to subconsciously see it. It is meant to go into the subconscious and implant itself into your brain on a subconscious level. And this continues throughout this entire national anthem, and it becomes basically like the script for the movie They Live. This video was shown signing off of television programming for the day throughout the 60s, and we know that during that time is the same exact time that the mass mind control MK Ultra project, the government covert operation, was going on in the United States. They were carrying it out on the American people, and that's been admitted. The CIA admitted it in, what, 1970? And there's even a speech where Bill Clinton apologized for it in 1995. So this is all on record. This is not a debunked video by any means. In fact, everything I've looked up on this video has only gone to show that it is in fact a real video that was in fact shown on national television networks throughout the country in the 1960s. And if you guys think they're not using this kind of programming today, I assure you that they are. It's just gotten much, much more sophisticated to keep the masses in check, to keep you buying the establishment line, and to keep people from thinking critically and asking questions. And that's what we all have to start doing, is thinking more critically about the information that's going into our minds and asking more questions. And I just have a quick question for you guys, because this is very strange, as a lot of things that have been coming out of Washington lately are, and I don't get it, so somebody tell me what you think. Apparently the House stenographer, as the Senate deal was passing that was going to reopen the government, she had to be pulled off the floor because she went into an outburst about how this is not one nation under God, Freemasons wrote the Constitution, and you cannot serve two masters. And it was actually a pretty interesting speech. And she just got up, went up there, started yelling. They had to pull her down. And Fox News did this report on it.
There was a really strange moment as that vote was coming to an end with the House stenographer getting up to the microphones. Let's take a listen to this first of all. Sure.
Alright, here she is at the microphone and she's yelling, but you can't hear what she's saying. This is the C-SPAN video. You can't actually hear what she's saying. Hear that?
They go against God. Molly, come on. You cannot serve two masters.
Okay, so in the first video, when she's first up there, you can hear everybody milling around and talking. You can't hear her. And they're pulling her off the stage, right? Now they play it again with sound, which they supposedly got from somewhere. Okay, the volume of her voice did not change from here to here. This is where the microphone supposedly is. And the volume of her voice doesn't change. As they're pulling her out of the room, you can hear her and people next to her.
You cannot serve two masters.
You see that?
Now, she works for the house, right?
And they're just going to keep reporting. Now, the problem with this video is actually this.
This is not one nation under God. It never was. Had it been, it would not have been. No. It would not have been. Constitution would not have been written by Freemasons. They go against God. Constitution would not have been written by Freemasons. They go against God. They go against God.
Now you can clearly see this is where this sound was actually recorded, because as she's talking earlier and they show her mouth, it perfectly matches up with the words, and there's all this recording equipment going on right here, here, and here. So obviously they could capture everyone's voice, whereas in the video that Fox News put up, which has obviously been dubbed, she's walking off the floor. There's no way you would hear her at the same volume consistency through this entire thing when the only microphone there is here, unless those people, as they were pulling her away, were holding mics up to her face. But they weren't. So it's just very strange, and it begs the question, what did she actually say up here at the podium that they're not releasing to us? Because the media is saying that the stuff that she said, that happened at the podium, when quite obviously it happened in front of the elevator. And you can even hear the elevator ding at one point. The elevator wouldn't be dinging here in the middle of the floor, okay? Now's where it gets even a little bit more strange. This is the actual C-SPAN video on their website, where they have the description and they say that a stenographer seated in the house goes to the microphone on the dais and yells and is removed from the floor. So they describe it that way here, and you can't hear her again like you could in the Fox dubbed video. But this is the full video. Most videos in the media only show her up at the podium and being pulled away. This one shows her before that. Check this out. Okay, this is her down here. I know there's all these words on the screen, but this is her right here seated. Here's her stenographer equipment. And check out this guy. He's just hanging out. He kind of walks up and starts talking to her. She's putting her equipment away. He says something, then he nods. See, he nods. And she just gets up like they're done talking and walks right up to the podium. And he's watching. Now watch what he does. He turns around, takes out a phone, and texts somebody. You see that? Here comes the outburst. And they're like, whoa, what? Order in the court, blah, 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 whatever. So it's just very interesting. You have this guy. Wait, let's go back. He's talking to her. He nods. Pretty decisively here. Nod, nod, nod. And she just gets up and is like, well, it's time to go end my career. I'm going to go get in front of the podium and start yelling a bunch of stuff. And he immediately turns and texts somebody. Pulls out his phone. He's texting. Now, she's up there already yelling. He's texting. He's not even looking at what she's doing. So obviously he must have, I guess, known that was coming, because she's up there yelling, and look at him, he's looking down at his phone. So he must have known she was about to do something, right? Either that, or when people just get up and start yelling random stuff that doesn't have anything to do with anything in the middle of the house, he's just used to that because that's a normal everyday occurrence. This is very interesting. I mean, I guess she could have just been like, well, we're in the middle of a conversation and I'm going to get up and go do something else now, bye. But it does seem pretty direct as to right after he's done talking to her, she just gets up and immediately is like, and now it's time to go. So I don't know. I'm curious what she actually said up here. Because it's obviously not what they're reporting in the mainstream media that she said.
So you don't find this guy unless he wants to be found.
1968. Forest for the trees, detective. Forest for the trees.